Well, hello, upper cervical doctors and students, and welcome back to the UCM podcast. I'm Dr. Bill Davis, your host for today, and I am excited to talk with you. Today, we're going to be talking about the 20K roadmap. This is how to build momentum, 180 days of UC practice momentum. This is how upper cervical docs can break out of survival mode and build predictable growth. And so this episode today is going to be specifically for you if you're in practice growth stage 1. If you're collecting less than $20,000 per month in a solo practice, this episode is for you. I want to help you because I have such a heart for every upper cervical doctor, but for doctors in this mode or in this place of practice where either you're just getting started or you've been in this stage for a long time and you can't get out of it, you just are kind of stuck there. Either way, I want to be able to help you because if you can help more people in your community, then more people are going to get help. And that's ultimately our mission here, is to bring hope and healing to sick and suffering people. And so we want to help you to expand what you're doing within your practice. And that's why we have created this 20K roadmap program, and also why we were talking about it today within this podcast. So let's talk about what this is all about. And so, the daily reality for many upper cervical doctors in this practice growth stage 1 is, you're stuck below 20K per month. But based on our most recent survey, it's, somewhere between 10 to 15% of you who are in upper cervical practice are in practice growth stage 1, solo practice, collecting less than $20,000 per month. And the reality is you are trying to grow without the structured guidance, rhythms, or systems that successful practices rely on. And that makes it much more challenging to grow. And so frequently what we see again from our survey data is you're struggling with new patients, right? You're usually seeing less than 5 new patients per month. You're forced to wear every hat. You're everything. You're the doctor, you're the scheduler, you're the administrator, you're the promoter, and you don't have just a clear plan. And many of you don't have a team, like no one, not even one CA in the practice. You're doing everything. And because of this, you constantly feel behind, even though you're working harder than ever. And so many UC docs simply lack the practice growth guidance, clarity, and step-by-step structure needed to move out of survival mode and into consistent momentum. Now imagine if you had a step-by-step plan designed specifically for upper cervical practices, with weekly guidance so you never feel lost, a system that attracts pre-qualified upper cervical patients, and a clear path toward momentum, not burnout, that is affordable, that is designed for you. We've been working on this for going on 13 years within UCM Practice Growth Systems, and I've been studying chiropractic practice and specifically upper cervical practice for over 20 years. And what I have found is there is a predictable steps that you must take in order to go from one practice growth stage to the next. And so that's what we've put into this program, this 20K roadmap. I'm going to talk to you more about it right now. And so what does it give you? It's the foundation for consistent 20K months. It starts with getting a solid baseline. We have to know what is going on with your practice. What do you already have in place and what don't you have in place? Because we have identified what is necessary to go from practice growth stage 1 to practice growth stage 2. And if you don't have all these things in place, then we have to work on them with you. So that's the first step, is practice growth checklist and scorecard. We do a baseline of that during your onboarding. Then we begin weekly practice growth sessions with you. This is where we begin to work on those things, begin to establish those things that are necessary to go from practice growth stage 1 to 2, breaking those 20K months consistently. We also will help you with multi-channel new patient flow, right? We want to be able to get more new patients flowing into the practice from multiple different sources, not just internal referrals, not just health practitioner referrals, not just patients coming from the internet, but all sorts of different sources flowing new patients into the practice. We want to work with you on reactivations, referrals, conversion tools, tracking dashboards, and clarity on your numbers. All of these things are key to actually moving from practice growth stage 1 to practice growth stage 2. This is the structure that doctors need to break out of survival mode. Daily and weekly rhythms is really, really key. This is something that we work on with our clients because we a lot of times what we see is doctors are trying to do everything at once, and they don't have a step-by-step growth framework that really helps them on a day-by-day basis. The habits that they have, the focus that they have, the literally the hours that they are spending, what they're doing on a daily basis can make a big difference on whether or not you will actually grow or not. Having a procedure manual created is key, because as you move up into practice growth stage 2, we're going to help you. If you haven't already hired a CA, we're going to help you to hire your first CA. And so we want to have you be able to have systems in place so that you can effectively train a CA and have them be successful. We will continue to look at that scorecard, the initial scorecard that we do during the onboarding. We will check back in on that on a monthly basis so that we have a ongoing check-in on those 7 categories, those areas that we know need to improve for your practice. And then having that weekly reflection and metrics so that we're getting clear numbers so we can make good decisions is another key piece of this. And the other part of the 20K roadmap that's really important is that we're going to give you practice guidance that builds confidence and not pressure. I know a lot of doctors collecting under 20K per month, they can feel isolated. They can feel discouraged. They can be unsure about what to fix first or what to do next. And so having that positive, encouraging tone is really important for our client success team. And it's something that we talk about all the time. We want to celebrate wins. We want to correct gently when you're not doing what we encourage you to do, hold you accountable to doing those things. But we want to simplify next steps. We want to say, hey, here's one win from the week. Here's one fix we can focus on right now. And here's one next step, right? Structured feedback on every call that we do with you to reduce overwhelm. When you have that weekly structured guidance so that you can focus on those areas that are most important, if it's mindset, if it's mission, if it's procedures, leadership, habits, systems, whatever is necessary to continue to move the needle on a week-by-week basis. And again, those regular scorecard reviews are crucial because that demonstrates that real progress every month. And really continually going back to the purpose. What is the purpose of your practice? Why are you an upper cervical chiropractor? Is key to keeping that big idea in mind, having that big why, and that will impact everything you do within the practice. Another big part of this is making sure that we have consistent mindset, leadership, and habits being reinforced to you, because doctors in practice growth stage 1 sometimes are struggling with their habits. They're struggling with their mindset. They're struggling with those things that are really the real engine of practice growth. Before practice grows, a doctor frequently has to grow. And so making sure that you have practice growth commitments in place of reading and listening and learning and self-reflection, that you've defined your mission and your core values for your practice, and you're consistently reconnecting to that on an ongoing basis, that you have those weekly rhythms, that you're blocking your time, you have that clustered scheduling so that you can turn chaos into predictable progress, and that you're developing yourself as a leader, right? You're working on clarifying roles. If you already have a CA, you want to get very clear on the expectations for that team member so that they can get the best possible results in their role, so that you can build accountability. And if you haven't hired your first CA, so that we can help you to hire that first CA, and it can be a great thing for your practice. And, helping you to really have some breakthroughs when it comes to your mindset, getting that confidence when you're presenting a care plan, when you're, owning the value of your care, celebrating your wins, working on those types of things. And a lot of that comes down to, what are your habits? What is that? Do you have a weekly review that you do with yourself? Do you do consistent progress exams with your patients? Are you getting consistent on creating SOPs for your team? These types of things are key habits. But like I said previously, it all starts with the scorecard. The scorecard is the key, and it's the most important part of this whole program because it assesses where your practice actually is. And that's what we start with when you get started with the 20K roadmap. Is we're going to do that initial scorecard with you, because it's going to identify your biggest growth constraints, so we can focus on the right actions for the next 180 days, so we can eliminate guesswork and overwhelm. And this becomes your personalized roadmap. Every doctor that we've worked with who was in practice growth stage 1, and we've been able to help them break through and get into practice growth stage 2 or 3 or whatever it may be, every single one of them had different growth constraints. And so identifying those clearly with our scorecard helps us to get that personalized roadmap. So that's the key piece of this. We have to get the right information so that we can help you in the right way. And so as we get that information, then those weekly practice growth sessions become so key, because when you are in those growth sessions with us, what we're going to be working on is implementing the systems that need to be implemented week by week. We're going to help you to stay accountable, right? So we're going to ask you, hey, please do this. And the next week, did you do that, right? That's huge. It's very important to have somebody in your life that will do that for you. And then reviewing that progress on a monthly basis, doing that scorecard again, so that we can say, yep, hey, this last month we were here, and now we're here. We're moving in the right direction month by month, establishing these foundations that will lead to more and more growth over time. And that will help us to break through these bottlenecks and build habits that create momentum. No more trying to grow alone. We want to help you grow, and this program is the key. Another part of the 20K roadmap is this multi-channel new patient flow. Our system includes upper cervical specific directory listings, Google visibility optimization, SEO for your website for both Google and ChatGPT, UC specific content and education, website updates and conversion boosts, all optimized for attracting upper cervical ready patients. It also includes UC video tools like a upper cervical whiteboard explainer video, video optimization and upload support, training on how to use your new patient funnel in office and online uses for increased conversion. So all of these things working together to improve patient understanding and trust and lead to more new patients, more referrals, and better retention. And our automated growth systems are also included in the 20K roadmap. Your growth dashboard will track your leads, your reviews, your website conversions, your new patient opportunities, and your momentum score. And if you join during our promotional window, and if you're listening to this podcast today, it starts today and it runs through mid-January, you can get our fast action bonuses. These include our pre-written new patient education email sequence, our 24/7 AICA booking bot that's powered by ChatGPT, our referral network builder blueprint. This is how to build a health practitioner referral network step by step for your community, and our digital upper cervical practice workbook. These bonuses will accelerate those early wins for you. And so who is the 20K roadmap for? It's for ideal for upper cervical doctors who are collecting less than $20,000 per month, who are feeling overwhelmed or just inconsistent, can't figure out how to grow. They want a proven, structured growth plan, and they're ready to stop guessing and start executing. Who this program is not for? It's not suited for doctors who want quick fixes without building foundations, who won't track metrics or establish weekly rhythms, who are satisfied staying under $20,000 per month, who prefer to go it alone versus structured guidance, who resist implementing clear day one, day two, or new patient phone processes, and who think that all they need is new patients. I'll tell you, Doc, if you're at $20,000 per month, the most common answer you're gonna give when we do our surveys every year is, I don't have enough new patients. And I'll tell you, that is part of the issue, but it's not the whole issue. We've seen tons of doctors who get more new patients and don't keep them, cannot convert them, or don't keep them for a long period, aren't able to retain them, aren't able to generate referrals from them. So there's so much more to practice growth than just new patients. The 20K roadmap is designed for doctors ready to build structure, gain clarity, and create consistent momentum. Let me give you an example of this. Dr. Gregory Jean-Pierre from Florida came to us, and he was in practice growth stage 1. He'd been stuck there for many, many years. And we've been able to help him break through, move into practice growth stage 1, and stabilize there. And he's been in practice growth stage 1 now for over 8 months and has continued to grow and is now getting close to that point where he's ready to hire his first associate and move into practice growth stage 3. That's what we want for you, Doc. We want you to establish these foundations, solid foundations, that you can then move from practice growth stage 1 to 2, and then move into practice growth stage 3 eventually, hire your first associate, continue to help more and more people in your community. And that is what we're all about, is helping you grow like that. And so what does it look like? If you sign up with us and you get started with the 20K roadmap, what is going to happen? You're going to start to understand your numbers. You will understand what matters. Like what are the numbers that you need to know and need to track, and why are those important to know? You're going to start to build a reliable patient flow, a reliable new patient flow, a reliable retention base of patients who consistently come back, who stay, who pay, who refer. You're going to begin to improve your conversions and retention, right? So when patients come into the practice, when they first interact with you, when they're first on the phone with your CA, they move through these stages from the first phone call all the way through the signed care plan and into the place where they are referring others seamlessly. That's the goal. That's what happens when we start to build these foundations. And you will strengthen your systems. At this time, you may not have any systems, or you may have very haphazard systems. We're going to get you to the point where you have strong systems that actually work and produce results consistently. And we're going to be helping you to build confidence, clarity, and control. And that is so key when it comes to practice growth stage 1, is getting your confidence to a place where you can say what you need to say to patients, and you can help them to understand that you have their best interests in mind, and you have that clarity, you have that certainty, you have those things that you need to be able to communicate effectively and be able to have them take the next step with you in your practice and get the help that they need. And so, Doc, I want to encourage you. You're in practice growth stage 1, and you want this to be the last year that you are in practice growth stage 1. You want to move into practice growth stage 2. You want to break that $20,000 per month collections. Start your 180-day transformation. Get the 20K roadmap today. You can go to ucmgrow.com/roadmap and find out more information. Sign up to get a initial call with us. We'll tell you everything you need to know. We'll tell you all the costs associated with the program, the investment that you need to make in with time and money, and you can decide if you want to do this with us and grow beyond 20K this year. Thank you for all you do. Appreciate all of you out there for listening. And as we always say, go Team Upper Cervical.